Inravio.com.
We have an absolute treat coming up. Accomplished children's performer and singer-songwriter Keri Wirth is live in studio talking all about her career, the anticipation towards her new upcoming album, and what it's like to perform for the most demanding audience you'll ever meet. She'll also be performing one of her newest songs live. Let's check it out right now.
Hey everybody, this is Kyle from Inravio.com, and we are lucky enough to be sitting with children's performer Keri Wirth is in the studio. Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Now you are a children's performer, and you've been doing this since you've been performing since you were 10, correct?
Yes, that's true.
What led you into this direction, to children's performing specifically, singing and songwriting?
Well, at 10 was actually my biggest performance to date. I performed at the Waldorf Astoria for 4,000 people in Yiddish, for 4,000 Holocaust survivors. So it was scary.
Interesting venue, yeah.
Very scary, and I sang with adults and I sang with other children, but I had a solo, and that was my first performance, and that's when I realized I definitely had some stage fright. But from that point on, I always loved to sing, and I always loved to songwrite, to other songs, to other music, and I loved lyrics and writing, poetry all the time. But as I got older, I basically, performed in my show. I performed in shows in high school, and I sang the national anthem in college. I ended up going to Cornell to become a doctor, and I did not become a doctor.
It's a similar kind of field. Yeah.
Right. And then I ended up graduating, and at the end I said, I either could go do show tunes on Broadway, or I can now go to medical school. And I didn't really want to do either of those things. So what ended up happening is I applied to physical therapy school, got in, became a physical therapist. My dad's a physical therapist, so I wanted to run his company with him. And I went to NYU, and I started performing at night in clubs. And I created an album of dance music called Becoming.
Ooh.
Yes, so that was in my 20s, and at that point I was getting signed to Sony and Interscope, and I was doing really well, but I still had major stage fright. Oh my God, I just didn't want, I had to build an audience, and I didn't want to.
It's kind of tricky.
Yes, it was tricky. So what ended up happening was, at that point I had to decide, I still wanted to be creative, and I still wanted to do something with my voice, and still write and record, and I really wanted to do this, but I had to find a way to make it better for myself. So I just picked myself up and joined a course called Music Together. I said, I'm gonna work with kids, because they seem to be a rowdy audience, and they tell the truth, and maybe they'll be hard enough on me that I'll be good at this.
Absolutely, they're the most brutally honest people in the world, are 9 and 12-year-olds.
That's right, and whatever's wrong with you that day, they will tell you. They will, and whatever's right with you, they will let you know that too, and you feel very special.
I get a compliment from a child, highlight of my day.
That's what I'm saying, right? And that's all I wanted. Let me work for that. Let me just go. Now, mind you, I never babysat. I didn't know if I wanted children. I do have children. I have a 7-year-old and a 2-year-old, but I had to be inspired by that, to be a parent. And after this course of Music Together, which was a course they made in the 70s for kids from 0 to 4 and parents, and it was created by psychologists and musicians, and together they created a curriculum of music. And this was just the most stimulating thing I've ever seen. So I started volunteering in Cobble Hill in Brooklyn and in Manhattan, and I became a teacher in Music Together. At the end of a year, I was offered my own franchise in Greenwich Village for Music Together, and they're all over, and I thought, well, I kind of want to make this more contemporary and about now.
Yeah.
Instead of, it was a little dated to me. It's a great course. So I said, let me write my own. I'm a songwriter. Let me create me. So I created Me and You. by Keri Wirth.
Yeah, you founded your own actual music program called the Me and You Music Program. Tell us about that. What do you do?
So at that point, after this, I started writing songs, and from my background in Music Together, I realized how it was to work with children, and felt very, very comfortable working with them. So I kind of worked off them. You know, I wouldn't call them my lab rats, but they were very refreshing lab rats. They really had a lot of things to give to me, and they stimulated my, intellect and like how to write songs for them and for myself, you know, to calm myself down and to also get them involved and excited.
Yeah.
So it was like a double whammy.
It's interesting you said that because what I find interesting about your music specifically is that it has a little bit of substance to it for children's music, where your goal is to calm children and try to inspire them to write their own music and communicate with parents. Was that your overall intended goal?
You know, when I first started, I just wanted to make the children happy, and then I realized I was making myself happy too, and then I was making the parents really happy. I was calming them down. So I started. At that point, I was really inspired to have a child. So when I had my daughter, Penelope, who's now 7, turning 8, she was my muse. And really, because everything, when she was born, you're thrown into parenting. And it's like, you're like falling off a cliff. And we're both crying. What do we do? And I started singing for her and creating all of this. You know, she'd look at an ant, and, I'd write about an ant and all the bugs. That's an ant, Wow, 3 cheers for the bugs. And then, she'd giggle and learn. And then when I was really silly about it, we were outside planting coriander, eating beets. And I said, oh, what is this? Coriander and beets? And, would I still love you if you smelled like that? And she was like, she's 2. And then, a whole song comes out. But I really, I think from that point on, I created this whole album. And with that, I started my classes. I was in preschool, and I was working in a bunch of different places, and I started meeting a bunch of different parents, parents that did not speak English, parents that did speak English, I work for a Japanese population of moms that all get together every other Monday to come with their children, and I sing for them. Music is universal.
Absolutely.
And I think it calms down everybody at any age. So I started realizing that, a child is underestimated in their intellect. So I could actually write to that too. I don't have to write kidsy music,
Gotcha. It's a nice middle ground, sort of.
That's right. So I did.
That's great. And you actually have a new CD coming out, or it came out, correct, on iTunes and Spotify today, or the next 3 days?
Yes, today. It came out, and it's on iTunes and Spotify. It's called Me and You, and I'm very proud of it. I think that the last song on the CD was the first song I ever wrote, and it took me about 7 years to get that. Like all recorded, so you end
it's a
up.
process. Jeez.
It is a process, to get to record. I did it all on my own, so it's, at this point, you kind of have to fund yourself and recording and getting it all distributed, and and all of that comes from you. I mean, even though I have about 50 more songs in my vault to record, which is good. Maybe there'll be 3 more,
Yeah. Well,
albums coming up.
Can only hope so. I mean, so you have your album coming out, and then you're going to perform a song for us today. Can you do that?
Sure,
Would that be great?
I sure can.
Awesome. We're going to get a treat right now. What song will you be performing for us?
This song is called Kosciuszko Bridge.
Kosciuszko. One more time. Kosciuszko Bridge.
It's really Kosciuszko, but I say it Kosciuszko.
So the joke is trying to get the kids to say the name and then just laughing at, I got it. No, I got you.
Well, we were actually, my daughter and I were driving to Brooklyn, and we were stuck in traffic. And, are we there yet? And I started writing this song, and I looked up, and it could have been any bridge. It could have been Verrazano, Whitestone, but no, it was the Kosciuszko.
Of course it was. Most complicated one.
Let me fit that into my song.
You did it well. Treat right now, Keri Wirth performing her original song, Kosciuszko Bridge. Take it away.
Let's go. go. We drive all the way to play, all the way to play, all the way to play in Brooklyn. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. We're gonna play, yeah, all day, hey. Beep, beep. Once when we get there, we'll laugh and play all day. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. We jump over the bridge, over the bridge, over the Kosciuszko. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. We go around the BQE. It's very trafficy. Say hi to that beautiful city. Hello, NYC. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. And we're here. We're gonna slide down the slide, climb up on the side. Slide down the slide, climb up on the side. We're gonna slide down the slide, climb up on the side. We're gonna jump, 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 jump. Yeah, jump, 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 jump. I'm gonna have a cookie, have a piece of cake, maybe even a hot fudge sundae. Ooh, yummy, in my tummy, yummy, 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 yummy. I'm gonna play, yeah, all day, hey. Beep, beep. Once when we get there, we'll laugh and play all day. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. I'm so tired now. I am such a sleepyhead. I'm so tired now. I wanna go to bed. I'll just sit back in my car seat, fall asleep when mommy, daddy drive me home. How do we get there? We go around the BQE. It's still trafficy. Say goodnight, that beautiful city. Good night, NYC. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. We jump over the bridge, over the bridge, over the Kosciuszko. Yeah, and home.
That was so good. It's concerning how much I like the children's song. You said this is for adults too, right?
I hope so.
That
I'd
makes me
like to
feel a
make-
lot better because that's like gonna be on my iTunes
That's the
playlist.
plan.
That's the plan. That was so good. What was that song called again? That was
Kosciuszko.
And that is off your latest album,
Yeah,
Me
that's
and
the
You.
first song on my album.
That's available on your album, Me and You, which is available on iTunes and Spotify right now. Thank you. Is there any place that we can find you on social media where people can follow what you're doing, or how can people reach you, find this, buy this?
Keri Wirth Music, Facebook is an easy place to find me. And also at KeriWirth.com, I have a website. And you can go to CD Baby if you want to buy it, like right off of CD Baby, and then iTunes, Spotify, and there's a bunch of other ones to go on. But look up Keri Wirth.
Fantastic. We're going to spread that everywhere. That's amazing. One last question before we go. This is more for me than anything. What's a children's after party like? Because you're having one. Do you guys like spike the apple juice or like what?
Maybe I do.
Yes. Is there a bounce house and the adults just get a little loopy and they run in? Because that sounds great. Because that just sounds like a party I'd go to.
That's a fun party. That would be a fun
That'd be fun,
party.
right?
Yes, usually, I used to perform at night. Now I perform at 11 a.m. So
It's toned down. The rock star lifestyle is a little bit turned down.
The rock star lifestyle.
You don't destroy hotels like you used to.
No.
No.
That does not happen at all anymore. But I'd like it to.
Yeah, right. You made it. Keri, thank you so much for stopping by. That was absolutely
you
wonderful.
for
This is
having
Keri
me.
Wirth. You can find her on social media. We're going to put all that stuff on the lower thirds for you. Thank you so much for stopping by. Her album, Me and You, is available right now on iTunes and Spotify. I highly recommend you check it out, whatever age you are, regardless. Thank you so much. This is Kyle from Inravio.com. Stay with us.
Wow. That was really cute.
Nice, right?
Yes, I like the song. I could listen to it.
You can listen to it, right?
Yeah. And she seems really
And
sweet.
you dancing around.
Beep, 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 beep. Come on, it's cute.
Yeah, it was nice. Well, thank you, Keri Wirth, for stopping by and treating us with that incredible performance.
Inravio.